Okay, you were a volunteer at Garden View for a couple of years. You had grown really close to the Toons and the Twisteds, especially to Goob. Scrap had known about your crush on her brother for quite some time, and often teased you about it when Goob wasn't around. One day, when she was teasing you about it, Goob had come in and asked her what she was doing. So she immediately responded, nothing, bro. Just teasing Kate. Just teasing the kitty about her crush. Then Goob curiously asks, Crush? What crush? And Scraps, why do you call Listener kitty? And Scraps teasingly says, oh, she doesn't want you to know who their crush is, but I keep calling them kitty because they're so soft and cuddly like a kitty. After a while, and you were just wandering about, and you see Goob trying to save someone, but nearly failing. So you intervene, because it was versus Twisted Dandy. And you knew Goob wouldn't stand a chance. But since you were friends with all of the Toons and Twisteds, you went right up to Twisted Dandy and just hugged his arm, which just made him freeze up, because he's not used to affection. Then you calmly say, Dandy, no. They're a guest, and plus we don't want to hurt Goob. Then Dandy calms down and says, fine, but only because it's clear you don't want anyone hurt. Then you say in a cheerful voice, oh, I don't mind people getting hurt. I know they'll respawn in the lobby. I just don't want to clean up the blood, and I don't want to risk Goob getting hurt. After a while, and Goob had started to catch on to what Scraps meant by crush, so he gradually figured out that you had a crush on him, like he did to you. So one day, he just comes up to you and hugs you without saying anything. Then you ask in a nervous tone, Goob, what's wrong, bud? Then Goob says, nothing, just tired. And since you knew he had to stay up as much as possible to make sure people didn't get killed or miss the elevator, you figured that was likely. So you just picked him up without saying much at all and carried him to Astro's room and gently set him down on one of the big beanbags. He's questioning how you were strong enough to lift him. So when he asks, listener, how could you lift me? You calmly say, look, Goob, sweetie, I can lift V, and by V, I mean Twisted V. I think I could even lift Twisted Dandy, so you weren't much of a challenge. Then he gently grabs you and pulls you down with him. Since you had insomnia and he knew from scraps, he decided you needed to take a break and get some rest. You seem quite confused. Goob, what are you doing? I'm on the job. I still need to be up and moving. And Goob says in an irritated voice, "Look, listener, I'm not gonna let your stupid job make you die from exhaustion. You know it's possible." Then you realize he's doing this because he knows about your insomnia, so he is just trying to help. So you calmly say, "Goob, is this just an excuse to get cuddles?" He casually responds, "Yeah, I figured out what Scraps meant by crush." And your face turns bright red. Then you ask in a stuttery tone, "What do you think she meant?" Then, instead of responding to your question, Goob says, "Well, if I'm right, then first off, why on earth did you not tell me? Second off, I like you too." Then your face goes a deeper shade of red. After a couple weeks, you two had been dating and it's been actually going quite smoothly. Then a group of school children around ages 10 to 13 come in, and since it was supposed to be a school field trip, you're confused because you weren't informed of this. But all of the Twisteds are freaking out because they know you won't want them biting anyone or hurting anyone. But they also know that they can't always control it. So you and Goob decide to stay with the kids. Then one of the kids decides that it's a good idea to smack Goob, which immediately gets you irritated. So you go up to the child and grab their hand, as you say in a clearly angry voice, "We don't hit others." Then the teacher says, "Oh, just let it go. It's not like the idiot can feel anything." And that is where you snap. And you say in a clearly on the verge of smacking the teacher voice, "Actually, yes, they can. They're just like you and me, just different. But only when it comes to physical features and capabilities." Look, if I were in any of your guys' scenarios, it'd be simple enough to think that way. But they aren't robots. They're living, breathing beings. So treat them how you want to be treated. not hitting or making fun of. How's that sound? And everyone there, even Goob, was a little scared, because a lot of the kids and staff of the school knew you, and knew you weren't one to speak up or yell at people. So Goob gently grabs your waist and pulls you in, as he quietly says, "Listener, sweetie, calm down, it's alright." Then you immediately realize you had snapped. So you just gently grab Goob's hand and put it to your chest and nuzzle into it, as you quietly say, "Sorry. I just don't like it when people treat you like that." Then Goob responds, "I know, sweetie, I know." Then he gently kisses your cheek, which actually gets you to completely calm down.